Hi guys, hi, hello, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today's video I'm super excited to do. It is my next project pan update in which I am using all the stuff in my collection and coming to you trying to make a 50 unit goal this year. That seems a little bit outlandish and I think I set myself up for failure is what I think I did. So if a project pan update sounds like something you're interested in, please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I'm a lover of all things high-end colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a field leader for Ulta Beauty. I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education here on my platform, but ultimately I just like to talk about makeup. And I'm assuming that you probably also like to talk about makeup if you're here. So I hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go. Let's roll on into this project pan update. All right, so I've kind of been dinking around with my camera settings over the last several months, trying to get it so that I don't have to dink around with my camera settings all that much. But truth be told, it is now fall and it is crazy sauce, dark and gloomy, doomy out there, and leaves are blowing everywhere, and the sun is never more to be seen until freaking March, and it's windy and rainy and gross. So I had to mess with my camera settings, and I hope that this is a good place for the camera settings to be. I think it is. You can see my eye look real good, except for this looks gold and it's actually green. But I think that we're in a good place. All right, guys, let's roll into this project pan. I have all the stuffs, all the numbers, all the pictures, all the things, all the notes. And we're going to start with the product that's been in the project pan at this point the longest, and that is this Winky Lux Uni Brow. And what this is actually is a brow pencil that I rolled into this project pan in June. It came in at June 3rd, and I did weigh it when it came in at 9 grams. I also have been measuring it out on our little cards right here, and its one is this one here. You can see that there is just a very, very, very small smidge of a line of usage left on this brow product, and it goes so slow. But this has been in my project for what, 5 months now at this point, 5 months this month, and I do think that I will get it done. This is a product that, you know, brow products don't tend to see a whole lot of usage in my collection except for my 24-hour brow gel, because I get my brows done by an arch expert in one of my locations. So they tint them, they wax them, they shape them, they do all the things. And when that is done on a regular basis, I don't use anything but a clear brow gel in my brows. But this year, I have been using this guy every single day trying to get through it. And it was pretty much a full item when we rolled it in, and now there's just a tiny amount of product left. I do think that this product will be out of the collection or out of the project pan next update. The next longest item is this guy. This is the Pretty Vulgar Make Them Blush in Hush Blush. I do believe that's how it goes. And when I rolled this in, it had been in my collection for quite some time. I got it in a BoxyCharm, and I rolled it in because at one point in time in my collection, I was using it all the time, and it was what I called my fixer blush. I knew that if I was struggling with a blush on my cheeks that day, I could go in with this blush and it would pretty much bring it together and fix it. I really did love this blush. I still love this blush. It is what is on my cheeks today. I feel like it is just enough not show-offy that I could use it every single day and never really truly ever go ham with this blush. And my ultimate goal when putting this into this project pan was to hit pan on it. And I have a pretty significant amount of pan on this product in just the last couple days. Actually, 2 days ago when I used this, I hit just a slight bit of pan, and then today as I was using it, I got quite a bit more pan on it. So I was really excited about that. This did get rolled in August, and it had 46 grams of product in it in August. It had 46 grams of product in the last update, and it has 45 grams of product today. So really super excited to have hit pan. Now technically this therefore should roll out of my project pan, but because we are sitting here in November and we only have one more month of this left prior to the finale, which I typically do in the first week of January, I am going to keep this in and just see how big I can get that pan in there, because also ultimately the goal this year was to potentially get rid of this blush at the end of the year. When it comes down to it, it's not just a blush I reach for anymore. And because I don't reach for it anymore, it's taking up space for the blushes that I do reach for. And my blush collection is out of control. I am currently this weekend filming also my blush collection and declutter for you folks. And man, that's a hard one, but this is one that I will probably declutter at the end of the year. So I'm just going to keep it in the project pan until the end of the year, until finale, and we can see how big we can grow this pan. The next one is this, and this has been in here equal amounts of time as that blush. This is the Urban Decay Afterglow Highlighter, and this is in the shade Sin. And this guy rolled in August as well. It had 49 grams of product when we first rolled it in. My next update, so my September update, it rolled it in with 47 grams of product. So we used a ton of product, even though I felt like I didn't use very much. This time, I felt like I used so much between the last update and this update, and we're still at 47 grams of product. Although I think, you know, I don't know what the pan looks like in here, but there is a pretty significant dip in this product, and I know that you can't hardly see what's going on because, I mean, it's a highlighter and the lighting isn't fantastic for a highlight, but I do have some video I'll stick in here as well. I do think that I will probably have pan in this by next update. I have been trying to really just dip into the one area in the pan so that I can hit pan on it. It is what's in my inner corner and kind of buffed out onto the lid space there. And it is the highlighter that I'm wearing today. It is also in my brow bone. So I am trying to use it, and I am trying to use it in a way that makes sense to get some pan on this. The ultimate goal on this guy was just to hit pan, and I just really want to hit pan by the end of the year. That would be super. This highlight has been in my life forever, and this is not the first project pan it's been in. I was thinking next year I might do a couple of additional project pans. Like, I would really love to do the one with the cards that Emily and Max does every single year. I would really love to do that one, the deck of panning. And I would also really love to do the graveyard project pan. I believe Emily and Max is the one that created that one as well. And that would be one that I would put into that project if it doesn't have pan, because this highlight has been in, I think, 3 project pans at this point, and I still have yet to hit pan. It is driving me flippin' bonkers. So this was a product that I rolled into the project in August also, and this was, at the time, a brand new to me lip cheat by Charlotte Tilbury, and I purchased it because I really wanted to know what the hype about this lip pencil was, and I could not put it down. I think when I rolled it into this project, I had used it maybe a handful of times. I'm going to say like somewhere around 4 or 5 times. It was rather new, full-size pencil. I hadn't even sharpened it. I think the first time I sharpened it was when I put it into this project. And this is what it is looking like now. You guys can see there is such a little tiny itty bitty amount of the pencil left. The idea was to use this in entirety this year and get it out of my collection almost as quickly as I brought it in. The last update, it was sitting here. In this update, it's sitting here. I do think if next update I could get it around here, honestly, that would be how big the pencil was. And I wouldn't even be able to sharpen it anymore. And I will be 100% honest, it's kind of hard to sharpen it now. I don't think that I'll be able to keep this in the project much after next month. So I'm really excited that this will probably roll out next month, but right now this is where we're sitting and I couldn't be happier with the progress on that. The next one in this list was this guy, and this was the Marc Jacobs Highliner, and this one was in the shade Fine Wine. Now this rolled in September to replace the Fine Liner by Marc Jacobs that I had in the project for about a month. I love Marc Jacobs eyeliners. I think that they're really smooth and creamy. They don't tug or fuss around on your lower lash line. They go into the waterline and they kind of stay in the waterline, but there is enough time to kind of finagle them and finesse them in the way that you want to finesse them for your under eyes. I like to go in, put it on my waterline, and then smudge it out on the lower lash line so that it kind of melts into the shadows that I put on my lower lash line. And that is exactly what I did with this pencil also. I think that you will see that this pencil is all gone. It is flat to the pencil and there is no getting any more product out of this guy. As a matter of fact, I just clicked it and now it's locked and now it won't go anywhere. So I really did love this. This was probably my favorite red eyeliner to use on my lower lash line because it was a little bit brickish or almost like burnt red, not like straight up red, not like lip liner red. It was like almost a burgundy red. Such a beautiful liner for the lower lash line, and it is gone. Next thing I have is this, another eyeliner. I tend to keep a black or a brown eyeliner in my project pan just because it's something that I use pretty consistently in my daily routine. I put black on my tight line. I put black just on the outer corner, like the outer V area of my lower lash line. I blend it into whatever color I also put on my lower lash line. I use black almost every single day. So I always tend to have a black or a brown in this. This was last month's update on the 7th of October. This is this month's update on the 1st of November. And I think that we're making really good progress with it. I do measure this one from the bottom of the pencil all the way to the tip of the pencil, flush against this piece of, index card because it fits on the index card. So I'm really happy with the progress that we're making on that. Do I determine that I think it will be gone by the end of the year? No. What I have noticed about that is way back in the day, like this eyeliner was so smooth and creamy and gel-like and just went on so well. And while this still does go on so well, I do think that the formula has changed quite a bit over the last several months specifically. Like I feel like it's got a little bit more of a like sticky, almost grippy texture to it. I noticed it specifically so on Halloween when I was trying to help my daughter with her Harley Quinn makeup look that she had on her eyes for her Halloween costume, and I was trying to smudge it out on her lower lash line and it just wasn't working. It was just really sticking where I had placed it. And then I noticed it also today when I was tight lining. It didn't want to like cruise around on my tight line in the way that I need it to. It felt more tuggy. So I think that no matter where I'm at the end of the year, I will probably declutter this one because I just think it's just too old. And I do think that I have two other ones that came at the same time as this one did into my collection that I might also declutter depending on me getting some use out of those and seeing where they sit. All the rest of this was rolled in the last update. So that was rolled in the October update. This was also rolled in the October update. This is the Bobbi Brown Shadow Stick, and I have it in the shade Vanilla. Like, I don't not love these. This is such an easy product for me to use. I really do truly love this product. It's such an easy product to use, whether I want to use it all over my lid as an eyeshadow primer or use it in the inner corner just to like lighten things up on the inner corner and in the brow bone. No matter how I want to use this, it's just such an easy product to use. I'm really excited to have it in the project pan though, because it gives me a very stable, knowing what I'm gonna get kind of like eyeshadow primer out of it. That first line right there is the line where it sat when we rolled it in. And then this line right here is the line that it sits at now. And that is measuring it rolled all the way up from this tip flat to the edge of the index card, and then the product that exists with it. I'm proud of the progress that we're making. A little bit is a little bit regardless. This isn't a product that I thought I'm going to roll in October and have done by the end of the year, but I'm really happy to have it in the project pan and see some of the progress that we're going through right now. This is the Touch and Soul No Pore Blem Primer. This is a pore filling primer. It is a wonderful silky primer and I love it so much. My mother gave me both bottles of this. She subscribes to BoxyCharm intermittently, and she always does it with the intention of giving me 90% of the products that come to her in BoxyCharm, which I can't say that I don't love. My mom is awesome like that, but she did give me both of these No Pore Blem primers, and I love No Pore Blem primer, but I don't need two of them in my collection. So I did put this one into the project to try and just get, you know, usage out of one of them, maybe use it up by the end of the year. I wear primer every day, whether I'm wearing makeup or not. I just love what a primer does for my skin. A pore filling primer does a lot of things to like kind of make everything like blurred, right, on your skin, whether you have like what you deem a pore issue or not. And it's also very silky and sometimes hydrating. This one I feel like is very hydrating. There are other primers that I use for like radiance or whatever. I wear a primer every single day. I love the feel and the look of the primer on my skin, what it does for my skin if it's a good primer. This one rolled in October also. This came in at 100 grams because this is a glass bottle. And when I weighed it prior to coming here and doing this video, it was weighing at 97 grams. So there is 3 grams of usage on here. I do think that the line that we drew last time when we rolled it in was a little bit low. This was kind of a quasi new bottle. I think I had like 3 or 4 uses out of it. And I think it had been tipped ever so slightly one way or the next. And when I put that line on there, I noticed a couple days later as it sat upright in the drawer that I had it in, that it had settled above that line. So I do think that this line was a little bit low, but I think that this is probably pretty great for where we're at right now. It might be a little bit high. These are always so hard to tell because sometimes everything settles so nicely and sometimes it doesn't. But this is where I do believe we are at with this bottle right now. And again, it came in at 97 grams of product. So we have used 3 grams. The next product I have to go over with you is this one. This is the Bare Minerals bronzer. This is the Endless Summer bronzer in Warmth, and this is a pressed version of one of my very favorite bronzers on the planet. I just don't love loose powders anymore, so I did pan that bronzer last year, I do believe, and then put this one in my project pan for this year. And it was so funny because somebody in my comment section, I'll see if I can find it again and put it in here, was like, I had that bronzer and good luck. Yes, good luck. Here's the truth, like I've been wearing this like pretty much nonstop, and it wasn't brand new when I put it into this project pan. It had seen quite a bit, and it was in a Shop My Stash this year. It's had a lot of usage. It really has. I think I've probably used it 20 of the 30 days in the last month. And it weighs in at the exact same 20 grams of product as it did a month ago. Like, I have no doubt in my mind it's going to take me quite some time to get through this bronzer, and mostly because it is so firmly pressed. I love this bronzer though. It's not a hard bronzer to use. I'm really super in love with kind of this like sun-kissed, almost sunburnt look that it gives to the skin. It is the bronzer that I'm wearing today, and it just looks so pretty. And it did a really good job of bronzing up the way too light for me foundation that I have on today, and a foundation that I'm just not sure I love anymore. I'm really grateful I put it into my Shop My Stash because it will probably leave my collection. Okay, last product is this guy here. This is the Clinique Pop Splash Gloss in Adore You. And this I rolled in last month, again with 13 grams of product in it, and we have already emptied one of these glosses in this project this year. And when we emptied that gloss, it weighed 13 grams. So I was like, it doesn't matter what the weight says. I know that I don't have much usage and it will still weigh 13 grams at the end of the day. And I actually weighed this today. It weighs 12 grams, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but it is Ebates. So I don't know what's going on up here. It does look like it's full up here and not down here. Like it's definitely see-through there down at the bottom, but it is empty. Everything along those walls is along those walls, and I can't really get it out. I've tried. Something that I also tried to do, well, there's a little bit. I could put a little bit on. Something that I've also tried to do is take the dang stopper out of this guy, because I know that there's probably one or two more uses in here, like one day, right? One day of use and then reapplication a couple times. I know that that exists in this little tiny tube here because I've taken the stoppers out before. I do love these Clinique glosses, so I was okay with taking the stopper out, even though I've sworn up and down that's not something I'm going to do anymore. I can't get the stopper out. Like, I have shoved so much in there to try and yank the stopper out of here. I've took my tweezers to it. It's just made a damn mess. Made a mess of myself, made a mess of the tweezers, made a mess of the container. I made a mess. Nothing happened. I couldn't get the stopper out. So anyways, it is empty. It is gone. It weighed in at 12 grams as an empty. With that said, I did hit my goal on this blush that I wanted to hit, but I am going to keep that in the project. I also emptied 2 more products in this project pan, so I'm really excited about that. I do think that next month we will see this be empty. I also think that we will see this be empty, so I'm looking at 2 more empties next month. I don't foresee any of the rest of these things being empty by any means next month. So because this is November, and you know, next month will be December, and then we'll do the finale, we only have effectively 2 more months of this. I'm gonna jump on the bandwagon that a lot of my you know, peers out here on the beauty space are doing. And that is that even though I emptied 2 products today, I'm not going to roll anything new in, because we only effectively have 2 months left of the year before we get to a project pan finale. And I won't see those 2 products that I roll in today being an empty. So I will be thinking about what I want to bring into my next year's project pan, but I will just hone in and focus on these last 8 products in this project pan to try and get, you know, some real solid use out of in the next couple months and see where we go. I do think that these will be out by the next month just organically through everyday use. The rest of them are actually things that are going to take me some focus. So I do think that we're in a good place today to just say we're not rolling anything new in. That way, I don't really have to focus hard on new products rolled into the project. I can just continue to organically use what's left in the project and see what I can do by the end of the year. So this is what we have left, and I think I've got almost a full face of makeup in here. So even if when I went out of town and just brought those products, I would be sitting in a good place. So with that said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I appreciate you watching. I hope that you enjoyed this project pan update. And let me know what you're doing for your project pans, how you're doing for your project pans. I would really love to know. As you know, we had a goal this year of 50 items. I think I set myself up for failure. I definitely don't think I'm gonna ever hit 50 items this year, specifically because I've stopped adding items in at this point, but I do think that we have some good numbers for the finale, and I'm really proud of what I've been able to accomplish this year in my project pan. And I should have a video coming up, I think in December, of the items that I'm thinking about project panning for next year. So hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you're interested in those kind of items, project panning items, reviews. I do a lot of that here on this channel. It is so rainy outside. It's raining so hard. So with that said, I am gonna maybe float away. I need to go get my raft, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye, guys.